She's Scared, a story of second chances. The afternoon light filtered softly through the tall windows of the office lobby. Michael sat on the gray upholstered chair, his hands folded carefully in his lap. He had been waiting for exactly 1 hour. 1 full hour. The building around him was quiet, the kind of quiet that felt intentional. The elevators hummed occasionally. A few people passed through the glass doors, strangers in business clothes, moving with purpose. Michael was not moving. He was waiting. He knew why he was waiting. That was the strange part. He understood it completely, and he was still waiting anyway. 3 months had passed since the divorce was finalized. 3 months of living in an apartment that felt too large and too empty, of eating dinner at 5 o'clock, because that was the only time he knew how to eat anymore. The judge had been fair. Everyone said so. He had every other weekend, plus 1 evening a week. It was a reasonable arrangement. A modern arrangement. A sensible split of time. But sensible did not feel the same as right. Not to Michael. He had called Sarah that morning, his ex-wife. His voice had been careful when he suggested meeting for coffee to discuss the schedule. Something had felt off about the last few exchanges through texts and emails. Something had felt wrong, though he couldn't quite name it. Sarah had agreed to meet. She said she would come by his office at 2 o'clock. Now it was 3 o'clock. Michael shifted slightly in the chair. The lobby was empty except for the receptionist, who had stopped looking at him with sympathy around minute 40. He did not blame her. He felt a little sorry for her, actually. She did not know why he was sitting there. She probably thought he was waiting for a business meeting, some missed appointment, some important professional connection. He was waiting for his daughter. Or rather, he was waiting for Sarah, who would bring his daughter. That was how it worked now. Structured. Organized. Efficient. The glass doors at the front of the lobby opened with a soft whisper. Michael looked up. It was Sarah. But she was alone. She approached him slowly, and he noticed something in her face that made him stand up. She looked tired. Not the tired of a long day, but the tired of carrying something heavy for a long time. Emma didn't come, Sarah said. She did not sit down. She stood with her arms wrapped around herself. She's in the car. I couldn't bring her in right away. Michael felt his chest tighten. Is she sick? Is something wrong? She's not sick, Sarah said. Her voice was very quiet. But something is wrong. Michael, she's scared. She's been scared for weeks now, and I didn't realize how scared until this morning. Michael moved toward the door, but Sarah held up her hand. Her eyes were glistening. She asked if she could stay in the car, Sarah continued. She said she wasn't ready to come in. That's when I realized, she's been quiet about the visits. Too quiet. I thought she was adjusting. I thought she was doing okay because she wasn't complaining. But this morning, she told me that she doesn't know what to say to you anymore. She said she feels like she has to be happy to make it easier, but she's not happy. She's confused. Michael sat back down in the chair. The words landed like stones in still water, creating ripples that moved outward in all directions. She loves you, Sarah said carefully. That's not the issue. She loves you very much. But she's scared that if she tells you she's sad about everything, she'll make it worse. She's scared that her sadness will hurt you, and that will make the divorce more permanent somehow. That was her word, permanent. The lobby seemed to grow quieter around Michael. He could hear the soft ticking of a clock somewhere above. He could hear his own breathing, slightly uneven. I should have seen this, Sarah said. I should have talked to you sooner. But I wasn't sure what to say either, and then I realized that's the problem. We're not talking. Not really. And Emma is caught in the middle of our not talking. Michael looked at Sarah's face. They had been married for 11 years. They had built a life together. Then they had carefully dismantled it with lawyers and paperwork and separate addresses. It had all felt very adult and very necessary. But standing here now, in this quiet lobby, with his daughter afraid to come inside, none of it felt adult anymore. I want to see her, Michael said. I know. But first, I think we should talk about what's happening. Not about the schedule. Not about the custody agreement. About Emma. About what she actually needs. They went outside together. Sarah's car was parked near the entrance, and through the window, Michael could see a small figure in the back seat. Emma had her head turned away, looking out at the street. Michael approached the car slowly. He opened the door, and Emma turned to look at him. Her eyes were red from crying. Hi, kiddo, he said. His voice sounded strange to his own ears. Younger, more fragile. Hi, Dad, Emma said. She did not unbuckle her seatbelt. Michael sat down on the edge of the seat, his feet still on the parking lot pavement. He did not try to pull her into his arms. He simply sat there, present and quiet. Your mom told me something, he said. She told me that you've been scared. Is that true? Emma nodded very slowly. I want to know about it, Michael said. But not because I need you to make it better. Just because I want to understand. Okay. Emma's chin wobbled. I didn't want to make you sad, she said. About the divorce. You look sad in your apartment. And Mom looks sad sometimes too. And I thought if I just went along with everything and acted like I was okay, that maybe you both wouldn't be as sad about it. Michael felt his throat tighten. He reached out and gently took his daughter's small hand. That's a very big job to give yourself, he said slowly. That's an adult job. And you shouldn't have that job, Emma. You know that, right? Your mom's sadness and my sadness. Those are our sadnesses. They belong to us. Not to you. But won't it hurt you if I'm sad? Emma asked. It will hurt me to see you hurting, Michael said. But you know what hurts worse? Knowing that you're trying to hide your feelings to protect me. That hurts worse than any sadness, because it means we're not really together. It means we're pretending. He was quiet for a moment. Sarah stood nearby, watching. Michael could see that tears were running down her face too. I want to know when you're sad, Michael said to Emma. I want to know when you're happy, and when you're scared, and when you're angry. Because you're my daughter, and I love you. Not the fake version of you that pretends everything is fine. I love the real you. All of you. Emma unclipped her seatbelt and moved into his arms. She was crying. But they were different tears now, the kind that come from finally being able to put down something heavy. Michael held his daughter in the back of the car, in the afternoon sunlight, in the parking lot of his office building. He held her while she cried. He did not try to make it better. He just held her and let her be real. Over the next weeks and months, things changed. It was not a dramatic change. The custody schedule remained the same. The paperwork did not shift. But the conversations did. Sarah and Michael began to talk, really talk, about Emma's needs. They started family counseling sessions where Emma could speak honestly. They created space for her sadness without trying to fix it. They acknowledged that the divorce was real, that it was permanent, and that it was also survivable. On Michael's evenings with Emma, they did not fill every moment with forced happiness. Sometimes they sat together quietly. Sometimes they talked about missing the old house. Sometimes Emma asked hard questions, and Michael answered them as honestly as he could. One evening, 3 months after the day in the parking lot, Emma said something that stayed with Michael. They were making dinner together, just simple pasta with sauce, and she said, Dad, I think I'm not so scared anymore. Michael stirred the sauce and asked, What changed? Emma thought about this carefully. You and Mom stopped pretending, she said. And that means I can stop pretending too. And I guess that's less scary than trying to fix everything. Michael turned off the stove and knelt down so he could look at his daughter eye to eye. She was still small, still young, but something in her face looked less burdened now. You're very wise, he said. I should have understood that sooner. I should have told you sooner, Emma said. They stood together in the kitchen, and neither of them tried to make it all okay. They just stood in the truth of it together. And it turned out that was enough. Sometimes the most important conversations are the ones we finally allow ourselves to have.